The following program discusses content that may be sensitive to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Every crime has a story behind it. These stories are told by the people who lived it. This is Victims' Voices with Nicole Johnson.
Caitlyn Berman survived a brutal attack inside her Bronx home at the hands of someone she once called a friend. She says it started after her attacker made sexual advances at her. Then it escalated. She was stabbed, a knife to her face, throat, and hands, just to name a few, and beaten within an inch of her life. The entire time, her 3-year-old daughter was sleeping in the next room. Police arrested her attacker. He's charged with 13 criminal counts, including attempted murder, assault, criminal possession of a weapon. But after his court appearance, he was released on his own recognizance without bail. The Bronx District Attorney's Office says prosecutors requested a cash bail of $1 million, but a judge overruled it. So the attacker is out on the streets. Berman says she not only fears for her life, but for her daughters. And joining us now on Victims' Voices, Caitlyn Berman. Thank you so much for joining us. Walk us through that day, if you can remember, the day your life changed forever, the day you were attacked.
Kind of started off as like a normal day, working. I spent the time with my daughter. Later on that day, it started off with me sitting for a friend, and that friend came to pick up the cat. He asked me to put my child in the room when he came to pick up the cats, that he wanted to speak to me. He asked for sexual intercourses and stuff, and I denied it, and I told him no. And then we regularly hung out like it was normal. He had no reaction to me telling him no. And then we winded up taking my daughter on, just a little walk. It was summertime. It was nice outside. When we came back inside, my daughter had fell asleep. And then I had came into the kitchen where the sky was, and he had asked me for something to drink. And once I turned my back, he kind of just, went ballistic and didn't stop.
So you didn't see it coming?
I did not see it coming. There was no argument. We had no regular conversation about it. No disagreements, no nothing.
Well, when he made a sexual advance at you, you said no. Mm-hmm. What did he say after that?
He just changed the subject, he had never even asked the question.
So at what point did he pull out a knife to attack you?
After we hung out for about 2 hours with my daughter together, and once she fell asleep, that's when he did it.
And you went to get him the juice.
Right.
And so your back was turned, so you didn't see it coming.
Right.
What happened?
That's when he just, started attacking me. And I had money that I thought that maybe that's why he could have been reacting the way he was reacting. So I told him, take the money and just leave, call 911, take whatever. And, he screamed out loud that it's not about the money and kept going.
And so he took a knife and he stabbed you multiple times. Describe what was going through your head, especially seeing someone that you trusted doing this to you.
Honestly, in the moment, I don't think that I was thinking so much about him, myself, the house, anything. It was about my daughter. Even when help first came to my door, I told them my main concern was that when my daughter was in that room. Yeah. She was in the next room.
Yeah. And so how long was this? So he attacked you. Then what happened after? How long did it take to get help?
It honestly felt like forever, but it was probably 5-10 minutes.
How has this impacted your life?
It stops me from going outside alone. It gives me a fear of, who's out there, what's going to happen. It stops me from working because I have a fear of going outside, going places myself. And it also impacts me because it's something that my daughter, even though she didn't see it, she heard about the story. She saw me laid up in the hospital bed. So it affects her as well because she knows, what happened to her mom.
And talk a little bit more about the injuries you sustained. Have we seen the pictures?
Yeah, there was 21 stabs, and I had 3 surgeries, one to the right eye, surgery on both the left and right hand, and then I also had surgery on the left temple. I had stabs to the back, my knee, my face, my hands, and my throat and the back of the head.
At the time of this, was he saying anything to you?
No, he was completely quiet. The only words that came out of his mouth was that it was not about the money.
So to this day, do we know what it was about,
No.
the motive?
No.
So at one point he was arrested.
Right.
What happened with that process?
So he was arrested, and I think he was arraigned on March 23rd. And then he was released on December 10th because the DAs failed to meet a deadline.
Okay, he was charged with attempted murder, charged with assault, criminal possession of a weapon. These are serious charges. And you're saying there was a discrepancy in the case, so he was released on his own recognizance?
Right.
How did that make you feel?
That made me feel even more safe, more unsafe than what I already was. You know, I was just starting to get comfortable, you know, the what was it, 9, 10 months that he was locked up. I was just starting to get somewhat comfortable with, you know, being outside and going places, and then he ended up getting released, so it, you know, affected me a lot.
Did the district attorney's office stay in touch with you, call you to
No.
explain the process to you?
The DA was not answering his phone calls, he was not answering text messages, he was not returning my calls.
How do you feel about that?
I feel like that it's a part of the DA's, you know, fault that this man was released.
What's your biggest concern at this point? He's out, there's some court dates coming up, but you still live in the Bronx.
Right, I do. I don't live in the same residence. I did move, thank God. But you know, it's that he's still out there. He could do it to somebody else. He could, you know, he has this set in his head that he thought that I was already gone. So, you know, obviously it was his motive. So, you know, one of my concerns is that he's, you know, he wants me gone.
Yeah. Let's continue talking about the justice system and what you would like to see done. Let's take a quick break on Victims' Voices. We'll be right back.
We now return to Victims' Voices with Nicole Johnson.
So, Caitlyn, we were talking about the justice system, talking about the Bronx District Attorney's Office, the fact that your attacker is still walking the streets. You have a court date coming up soon. What would you like to see done?
I would like him to be sentenced already. You know, it's too much to keep going to court and nothing is happening. It's just court dates back to back to back, and they're all adjourned or, you know, adjourned, rescheduled, or absolutely nothing happens.
Yeah. The friend that his girlfriend, if you will, has she come forward to say anything about his actions or anything?
Nothing at all. And I honestly think that she does condone them because they have been around each other.
Wow. So you think that this was something in him that came out?
Yeah.
Wow. You talked about the fear that you have being in the neighborhood. You're not only fearing for you, you have a daughter and who was in the other room during this brutal attack. What are your concerns about her?
That she already has it stuck in her head. You know, she knows what happened to me and she knows who did it. Mm-hmm. She knows where it happened. She knows, you know, all of the scars on my body are because of him. You know, she'll kiss them and she'll say, "I'm going to kiss the boo-boo that Chris gave you." You know, I think it affects her a lot too.
If you can talk to women out there, men, children, anyone victimized, looking for that strength, support, what would you say to them?
Leave before anything is too late, you know, look for signs, and it's never too late to get help. Never. It's never too late to get help.
Yeah. Do you feel like you had signs?
I personally had no signs. But, you know, there are signs to look out for in different situations. I guess you can never prevent something from happening, but you can always get the help for it.
Mm-hmm. Talk about why you wanted to speak out today and let your voice be heard.
I wanted to speak out because it's not only is it not fair to me, it's not fair to my daughter. And, you know, there's so many people out there that should know a person like this has been released from jail. You know, they're knowing what to look out for, who to look out for. And I feel like, I'm hoping this brings a little bit more justice to maybe get him locked back up.
Mm-hmm. Anything you want to say to the district attorney's office, the judge, anyone involved?
I just do feel like it is part of the DA's fault that this man was released.
Right. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. Your voice is strong. It matters to us. And your message, hopefully, will be heard by our viewers. Thank you, Caitlyn.
Thank you.
All right. That's the latest on Victims' Voices. I'm Nicole Johnson. See you next time. If you are a victim and need help, go to our website at pix11.com/resources.